Double A is where I will always chop and change the way I say this team. Kind of just like closing thoughts on these guys. They're really entertaining. And I mean, I'm always excited when I see these guys take to the Rift. They definitely want to make it interesting for anybody that comes up against them. So trying to ban these guys out is a style all in itself. You really have to just flip the coin and see if your laner is better than Jaffe in that top lane. But that's no disrespect to the rest of the team. You have to be on the ball with it. And I think if these guys are on the given day, if they have everything together, then they can definitely potentially go all the way as well. So I'm not writing these guys off.
Hello and welcome everyone. And that was a quick break. We are jumping into game number 4 between Team A and Team In the Trees after those nice words from Lamb. And I am joined here on the desk by Irina. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. It's been a while since I've been back on the caster desk, so I'm a little nervous, but we'll get through this game.
Okay, well, those nerves will work themselves out as the game starts, but we are in the draft phase for now. And I have to say, I'm glad to see Team In the Trees striking back in this game. They're on step number 2 of a reverse sweep, and they have a few more steps to go to complete that job. Now, for you, where would you like to see this power pick, this first blind pick from Team A go? Oh, well, I guess we know now.
Yeah, you do. I think that's Red's comfort pick, and it's a good flex. Immediate response with Trundle and Nautilus, so heavy engage from In the Trees. Also, tank nullification from In the Trees.
Yeah, that seems to be their answer in this draft here. They do like being able to take out the tanky stats. And now they've lined themselves up a bit of a weak bot lane, but an interesting combo you don't see too often.
I agree. Varus does scale, though, pretty well, eventually. It's immediate response from In the Trees with Tristana, so we have a very engage-heavy bot lane into a pretty weak bot lane. So that lane's going to be very volatile, I think.
Yeah, I don't see any way for Varus to get himself out of danger, so MXL could be playing on the line here. That is a very powerful engage tool in the Rakan, though. So are we looking for some kind of turn in the draft for Team A in the next 2 picks?
I'm hoping they pick a very strong AP mid laner to maybe like help carry out that mid game phase for them, so that Varus has time to scale. We have Maokai, a very strong old team champion from INT, and let's see what Ah's response is.
I'm thinking that they're actually putting Rare, Adam, in a very tough spot. Just looking at the amount of lockdown available. And okay, I'm seeing an Ashe here.
No, this draft is like, is this like a Varus mid with like Ashe Rakan bot, or is this like the double 80 carry bot, and then we have like the forbidden tech of Rakan mid lane?
Okay, so they do lock it in. They have the Ashe. This is, I did say that they have some crazy out of this world drafts, and here's one of those games. Control Mage in the tree is going to be picking up a very, very not crazy comp on their side. You could call it sane, in my opinion.
Yeah, like this is like driving brain jiggles, right? Because do you put Silas into Syndra and then like Udyr? Like the draft of Odd doesn't make sense too much to me. I know there's some comfort picks in there for Odd, but like, do you put Varus mid lane, like the immobile 80 carry against Syndra, who could like stun you and then one shot you through their ult? Like, this is like a risky. I think this is a risky team from Team A here.
Yeah, this is a very risky draft. There is just no protection for their backline here, Varus and Ashe. So you're saying that's going to be a bit sketchy. But how about we turn over to In the Trees? Because I'm thinking that we agree there's a lot of options for them to take this game here.
They have a really heavy front-to-back team fight, right? They could engage with Nautilus ult or Maokai ult, and Trundle will steal tank stats from Udyr, and then Syndra could sit in the safety that is created by those 3 big ults and just like scatter the weak. And Tristana just shoots from the side, and we have like a perfect front-to-back team comp from In the Trees that could pick people with Syndra stuns.
All right, so it's looking like we're leaning in the favor of In the Trees here.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just from the looks of champions.
All right, well, from the sounds of that, we're going to stop looking at this draft and tune into the game here. And we are looking for INT to complete the next step in phase of the reverse sweep here. We're going to be coming onto the Rift, and it's looking like INT might be doing something cheeky in the first few minutes of the game.
I agree. It looks like we have a stack, and Adam sees that right away and immediately just uses his dash out.
Yeah, I think it's wise for the Rakan to be the one face checking there, has that mobility to avoid danger if need be. And Hugh Slops definitely would not be afraid to throw a hook there. Danger avoided, and also it looks like Jaffe's found himself a bush to be hiding in that might be giving them some information on where Bo is going to be starting.
All right, so our guess was correct. It is Varus mid with the first strike against Syndra. I think really has to play this early game to the best of their ability to not start off the volatile chain reaction that INT is. As soon as there's gold in INT's pocket, they're going to be able to practically take over the game with their like super strong engage. They can call the shots if they have the gold. So has to play pretty near perfectly.
Yeah, they also have the utility and engage. If we just look at Ashe and Varus, this is both long-range engage champions. But the thing is, why we care about INT's engage a lot more is because they have better defensive tools on their end.
And we can't forget that Jaffe on Silas could provide the engage that needs. So the lane to watch for would be top lane. If Silas gets ahead, this might have a much better chance.
Yeah, Red reprising the role of Udyr here. This man in love with this champion this entire series. And I'm assuming we're going to see the same build. Just seeing that throughout these games here. Rare Adam, level 2,
Oh,
does burn the flash from Hugh Slops.
on
Anchor
counter
turnaround.
engage.
Kenny is going to be able to lead a lot of damage here, so that is a very heavy trade for them. Rakan just not as tanky as the Nautilus, and they're going to be taking a little bit of a W in the spot side.
Oh,
Another
and
anchor toss going in again. There is no jump, but the ignite is going to be going down, and that's going to send them packing. Going to have to retreat there. And so far, it's looking like in the bot side, they're going to be picking up a first push. Hugoslavs cannot be stopped. I am not giving you enough time because he
no.
just keeps going in. I'm not leaving room for an analysis. There is no
But
color
this
space.
this is exactly what I'm talking about. It was INT has a very aggressive bot lane. They're going to look for every hook, every engage they can get because Ashe is also kind of in that same thing with Varus, is that she scales with items. And so until the item standpoint kicks in, Tristana and Nautilus will have far more damage than Ashe Rakan.
Yeah, and I'm hoping this is not a glitch because it says red is almost out of HP. Certainly hope that's not the case for this bot side here. There's going to be no bailing out of this lane. Katarina doing pretty good so far on the mid lane here. And it's that level 6 that we're going to have to pay attention to that mid lane.
Yeah, we have, looks like, could be a potential dive in the bot lane over there. But looks like INT is going to back off, take the resets. I think it's a viable option. I think the faster they get bot lane ahead, the faster INT could get the rest of the map ahead.
Yeah, and this bot lane, now it's starting to reverse just a little bit. Unfortunately, Tristana, not one of those champions where you can pull the wave as effectively. But that would really put Oz in a bad spot. Oh, they're going to land the stun. Rare Adam trying to make some effectiveness here. Kenny going in for the all-in. Exhaust going to come down. That's going to be a lot of damage mitigation. MXL has no mana, but is chasing down this Tristana. And that's going to force out a rocket jump. Yeah, that's going to be a very close call for both of those 80 carries. Rakan just chilling in the mid lane, trying to get this wave out. And so that's going to be resources being poured into Katarina. Top side, Broccoli doing all right on the Maokai. I think this is going to be a CS advantage for the Maokai of all champions here.
Yeah. Going back to bot lane, though, as you mentioned, like, Tristana can't hold waves very well. And that is one thing Ashe can do super well. So maybe the strategy here for Team AAA is to hold the wave near and close to them and just scale it out.
Yeah, they'll certainly be able to do more damage in these team fights just due to the Ashe slow utility and the Rakan engage. Another anchor toss landing. They have the full combo. Rare Adam, though, has the mobility to get out for now. And the calls are coming closer and closer as resources are being burned from the bot lane of AAA here. And now I got to ask you, Arena, where do you want to see this jungle attention? Because we haven't seen too much as of yet. Both junglers kind of in a watch state at this moment.
I think that Red wants to probably either mitigate bot as much as possible or get Silas ahead. Silas is one of those few champions that could really go dive into the backline and actually be okay in a 1v2 situation.
All right, TP coming down. Red getting an engage. Rare Adam does hit the knockoff. You Slops is going to be able to anchor toss out, but now they have to turn it around, and that's a first blood to bow explode. And there we go. The bot lane action that you were talking about. Both junglers end up here at relatively the same time, and it's AAA who lose that.
Yes, AAA did not have the benefit of their mid laner, whereas INT sent Syndra down, threw all of those balls, and we have more action. Never mind. Too close to the tower.
You got baited,
I got baited. But yes, INT knows that they have multiple sources of damage that they could go for, and right now the easiest one to do is bot lane. They have so much lockdown with Nautilus, especially when he hits 6. He has multiple abilities to be able to lock someone down, and so it's easier to get bot lane ahead at this state in time before laning phase gets done and over with. But it's really impressive that Syndra is still able to keep the CS relatively equal and even ahead with that bot lane roam. So we have a really good wave manipulation coming from Evolved Noob as well.
Yeah, there is the TP disadvantage there. Katarina does get the snare, the knockup from her Adam. The knockback coming from Evolve saves the life without burning Flash. That's going to be huge. And again, we see Rare Adam making a visit to the mid lane and not being able to give them a huge advantage.
I can see where this thought is coming from. Ashe needs to scale, and Ashe can lane relatively safely under tower, which has to happen because Tristana can't help but stop pushing. So and Rare Adam knows that they could use their resources elsewhere to try and at least help out their immobile mid laner who, without some help, probably would not do well. Oh, we have double summoner spells being burned in the top lane.
Yeah, that is 3 sums in total. And Team Ah going to take a slight win up there in the summoner game. And Jaffe gets out clean. Has the TP to come back as well. So there is not much happening in this game overall. Both teams playing very controlled so far.
Yes, but the less gold that our battery team gives, the better chance they have with this very wonky team comp. The longer they take and the less gold they give, I think the better it'll be for them to squeak out this really interesting team comp.
I do want to point out that if they have the lead and control of objectives, I can imagine running into a Varus Ashe as being one of the most annoying things you can do in League of Legends. And if you just are out of position, that is 2 very capable ultimates there to ruin your entrance to these objectives. That is another toss going
very
wide.
Close. Very close. Yeah, and we see Kenny Hammerspike already knew that it could become annoying, so took cleanse right away. Like Ashe arrows already, annoying enough, but maybe he might need to buy the QSS this game. We hope not.
Oh man, going for QSS and cleanse
makes you feel super bad. Not gonna lie, I never want to be in that situation, but we have some action in the mid lane.
Okay, a little bit of confusion as mid laner and jungler synergy looks a little bit off right there. Going in, going out, who knows? Rock Lee versus Jaffe here. It looks like Silas has no hope of winning that matchup, it seems.
At the moment, Maokai rushed the
Spectre's
Cowl. So at the moment, Silas doesn't do a lot of damage, and Maokai with the recent buffs definitely has more of that max health percentage damage. And so right now, unless Silas finishes a couple items, maybe even build some spell pen in his boots, he's not going to do much.
Yeah, they definitely are going to be scaling on the top side 4 in the trees here. Maokai going to be a huge player. We see it at Worlds, and we're seeing it here in FOFE. Another stun being hit by Evolve. Doesn't get the max damage, but the CC is enough to win the trade. Bot side plates are coming down. The Anchorman is walking down to bottom lane. Does not see an opportunity though. And so far, Ashe ends up being up in CS.
Yeah, but it's okay, I think. But at the end of the day, we still have. It's still in INT's favor. Like, they just have so much that they could use to start a fight and ignore the disengage from our battery team. I'm gonna call them batteries.
You can call them battery.
Easier.
Low voltage is another good one. Oh, the anchor toss gonna land with the pillar combo. This Varus has nowhere to go. Red running into a 2v1. Doesn't care about Evolve here. Gonna be here to land. The CC gets ignored. The knockup gonna land Red. Gonna charge right back out. And somehow this Udyr makes it out alive in that 2v1 scenario. And now
got the Bond Me Cinders, the extra health. He got a little bit of MMR and exactly what he needed against that Syndra ult. Hopefully he'll be able to build more fairly quickly because pretty soon Syndra's going to start chunking.
Yeah, it has the Leandries as well, so that's going to be able to help cut down the tank in the front line here. And with this dragon spawned, who do you think is going to take it?
I think if can start picking someone off or controlling the vision, controlling the choke point so that they could fire Varus ult in to the team fight, they'll probably be able to fight and get the Drake. However, it's definitely easier for INT to charge in, as long as they charge in from the river, from mid lane rather than from a choke point. But
Oh, there
if
it
they
is, the
catch
charge
something
in.
out,
Oh, but it's on red, the tankiest member. They thought they could burst down this Udyr, but the flash over the pillar is going to save them. And now Ashe is going to return the favor. Broccoli burning the ultimate here. They catch the Udyr again, all alone. Do they have enough damage? They do. Voxplode gets the kill. And do they have enough members, enough power on the side of... Oh, they're going to go for it. Rare Adam gets engaged on two
with the counter
members.
ult.
Jaffe does get down another member. MXL doing damage, gets stunned, but Evolve, I don't know if you have enough damage for the exhaust. Going to counter the burst as well. Kenny is limping away. And team, clean win in the very first 5v5 of the game.
Yeah, so INT had a bunch of those team fighting tools, and they burnt it practically for one person, for Udyr, because MXL was able to flash out of that Maokai ult. So the battery team essentially sacrificed their jungler, knowing that Silas was on his way, and he was able to counter engage with his little more AP amplified Maokai ult, and it caused chaos. And I think that's what our battery team wants, is they want chaos on the back line. And they chose to build around that.
If we look at INT's comp, their damage members are the Syndra and the Tristana. These are burst champions. They're not sustained damage champions. So when they engage on this Udyr, you have to think that that might actually just be a mistake, even if it is a free kill.
It's a huge mistake, because if they can't burst out Silas or even Ashe, those are actually some pretty consistent points of damage. Silas, yeah, he doesn't burst, but he's able to... He's able to, sustain it with his short cooldowns eventually.
They catch Red again. He's going for the smite steal, but he couldn't get it. It looks like Henry's going to try to peel it off here. He slops, ends up being caught up on the backside. MXL with the ultimate does stun it up. Where Adam running into 5 members. They're going to pick up one, but now they have to get out. Doesn't look like Mao's going to let that happen. Evolve picks up an ultimate, gets a kill, and, well, they pick up a dragon as well as pick up some kills.
But Jaffe might take this top tower here. They're taking advantage of everyone being focused on the second dragon of the game.
Yeah, they do make that trade. I mean, Jaffe wasn't there at all, so they lose out on the dragon contest. You have to think that you either go for the steal, so you just lose red, or you go for this turret. And now the CC going to be landed up. Jaffe just greeting, and this is probably a kill over, but can he get the trade kill? Flash being burned.
Almost.
He does pick it up with the ignite on the back end.
So remember how I said Silas can easily 1v2? Maybe he can 1v3. So at this point, yeah.
How did he get the kill? I'm confused now. I thought it was ignite.
He has Leandries.
That was just a pure Leandries?
Yeah, that was a Leandries proc, and I think Syndra was close enough. No, she was not close enough to range minions. So yeah, that was the Leandries proc.
That is surprising amount of Leandry's damage. I didn't know it would do at least 100 to a Syndra, of all things. Due to that play, it looks like they're going to have some prio onto this Rift Herald. They're going to take it. Not the best Rift Herald to take, but it is going to be an objective nonetheless.
And INT has no clue from the looks of it.
Well, they either have no clue or they don't care to contest. It's one or the other. Sometimes it's hard to tell unless you're playing the game. And now, I mean, 2 turrets taken on the top side. That is what I'll have for now. Compared to INT, 0 turrets. So you have to say a bit of a turret difference in this game. And looking at the gold, that's the case.
At this point, our battery team has 2 ways they could approach this game, right? They could either say we split push with the safety of Varus, Rakan, Ashe disengage, and Silas being able to 1v2 fairly easily from the looks of that last fight. Or we fight when Silas is here, right? And I personally, I think it'd be a much more exciting match to see if Silas can join in on these 5v5 team fights, because it'll be more kills. But I think it might be smarter for our battery team to have that splish push type of approach.
Interesting. Now, this is a new Silas build, and it might be a smart adaptation in this game. 3 frontline members, Nautilus, Maokai, and the Trundle here. Jaffe going to be going in for an all-in on this Syndra. Doesn't look even close. And now mid lane, Red charging in on the Udyr. Kenny trying to get damage back. Isn't going to be able to. MXL stops him in his tracks with the ultimate. Turns around at the last minute, and now, picking up advantage again.
Yeah, and it looks like Oz taking the split push thing very literally. It's a 1-3-1. And not in the typical way either. We have Varus in the top lane, just farming it up. We have Udyr Rakan being able to protect Ashe, and Silas doing his Silas things, being the mage bruiser assassin that he is.
Yeah,
I hate going against him, you know?
Jaffe on this Silas, even though building Leandri's has enough burst damage for the Syndra and more. And Bow Explode going for the Tiamat again for the faster clears. Anchor Toss gonna go wide. Unfortunate for he who slops. And now, I mean, this is a clear advantage for Team A in this very important game that INT needs.
Yes, definitely. But I think Ah wants to try and end this. They want to try and keep pushing their advantage. And like that's normal, but I think the longer it goes, like it does have pretty good scalers. Syndra, whenever she gets all of her fragments, is gonna start doing a ton of damage and get free mana. Whereas Tristana, the more items and the more levels she has, the harder she hits.
Yeah, Syndra, the new Syndra. You get free everything. You get an execute, you get free damage, true damage, and you get free mana and free AP. So it's all in the kit. It just needs time. They're following through a choke point, though. And I don't know if this is advisable for Team A.
Yeah, Team A wants to control the fight themselves. They want to be the one, the choke point, and having INT check in on them. But we are seeing another big team fight. I'm really curious to see where it's gonna go. If Jaffe could try to dive in the back
here it is. And now he slops in the front line, gets melted instantly. Kenny lands a great ultimate, tons of damage, but then the turnaround coming from Team A. MXL's free firing on the backside. Kenny has to run away. They ran out of damage in the trees, didn't have enough in the tank to win that team fight in the 5v5 front to back. They have to find the flanks.
I'm not gonna lie, I really underestimated how much of a tank Udyr can be, and how much chaos Silas could really sow. We had Red here tank so much damage that both Ashe and Varus was able to solidly free hit after that Scatter the Weak for a good solid 5 seconds. So look here, we have the engage from Nautilus, we have the peel back from Varus, we have Syndra trying to burst down, but that crucial exhaust timing right as Syndra shot her ult, that really helped out our battery team there as well.
Yeah, Syndra getting exhausted multiple times with the ultimate, and that is a huge damage cut for her burst potential.
And for a team where you need that burst on the right carries, and then the carry having the exhaust, that must be so frustrating for Evolved Noob.
Yeah, that is going to be frustrating. And Kenny finally dropping in that fight as well. Bo being caught out, but Jaffe's really low. Has the stopwatch, so going to burn that. The Q going to land at the proper timing. Bo is going to flash out. Might be a waste, but is stalling time. It eventually will fall. There's just nowhere for this troll to go. Definitely not going to get an execute after that. MXL picking it up with the red buff double slows. Rare Adam flying in like a superhero. And I mean, so far, I think the biggest criticism we have to levy at INT is just no flanks. You can't win the front to back. It's not going to happen.
They either need to look for picks where Ashe and Varus are alone, or relatively alone, or they need to look for a flank, because they have so many engage tools. They could send Maokai in the back and throw the ult from the back. Or they could have Trundle just ult Ash and zone in on Ash and never care. I do want to see our battery team push their 6K gold lead and force another fight at Baron. And I think that will pretty much seal the deal. So the question is if they'll do it or not.
Yeah, does Team All have the guts, the gusto, and the brain to bait a Baron? Although not necessary, but would definitely be one of the winning plays. They are going to do it. You read their minds perfectly here. They have the Baron. Not the best setup in the world, but it looks like they're not going to be challenged. So that's not going to
No.
be a factor.
That might be because we had Silas push out the top lane and Varus in the mid lane, and only now are they finally hidden from the map. So maybe INT has a clue, but
There we
no.
go.
All right, so I call the next thing I predict is they're gonna just push it down mid lane, with like Silas on the side, because at this point, with Silas having Cosmic Drive and Leandries, he has the cooldowns, he has the burn for the tanks, and he can still burst out the carries. So he can still easily 1v2, 1v3 here. And I think that's what they're settling on, is a split push.
Yeah, Jaffe on the Silas special on the top side can fight anyone in the map at this point in time. That is a good sign for your team. And this gold lead is blooming to about 7K here. And it's going to get even harder for INT to come back in this game with this Baron buff. They're going to be losing more turrets. And now the picks are going to be their only option to come back in this game.
Oh, alright.
There we
And
go.
there's a pick on Nautilus. This is great for Odd. Takes off and engage.
And there we go. Nautilus's ult being used against him. That is a shame. Evolve going to land some Q, some damage. But now they are down a member, and the split push becomes that much more effective. Great siege as well, with 280 carries, double the siege power. And they have poke to boot to send members away when they need. The last outer, the last visage of
Alright,
these
here's
mid-tier turret spots.
Here's my hot take. I do not like Syndra buying Banshee Veil here.
I agree with you. Definitely needs more burst damage.
INT is at a it might be a losing. It's a losing state, even with like a 7K gold deficit. At this point, Syndra wants damage as much as can.
Here we go. Rare Adam's gonna get everyone charmed up. Nautilus gets bursted out. Kenny falls straight right behind Evolve. Does pick up a kill, but the rest of the team, it's in tatters. And now with the Baron, they have clear option to take this turret. Inhib, they're not going to be able to get the second one, I believe, but they could just go for the win. What do you think here, Arena?
I think they should try it. They still have. Oh, but no, they're not. But they have the. They have Varus, and Varus could auto those towers really quickly. But yeah. Back to my point. I actually don't like the Leandries either.
Okay, the Leandries.
Yeah,
because
the
you wanna
Leandries
just
and the
burst down-
Banshees.
You want to burst down the squishy backline.
Yeah,
I think I agree with you.
I think like if you eliminate Varus and Ashe from battery team, you will be able, with the amount of tanks that INT has, they'll be able to outlast the Silas. And what's Udyr gonna do other than maybe pick off one of your carries, right? So I would have loved to see like Luden's Shadow Flame here.
Yeah, I'm surprised Red has only died 2 times in this game with this Trundle.
He has the anathemas on Syndra, I believe.
That's a
And
smart pick.
That's all he has to do is the anathemas on Syndra and then build armor. Because everyone else hits with mostly armor.
Yeah,
and
Red full tank build this time around, and it's working wonders for the team.
He's filling in the one. He's filling in as the one
on
tank.
The backside.
Yeah.
Yubi is in the front. Yubi Red in the front line. Nautilus is going to get burned down again. This man cannot survive. Kenny goes down, and that is the key damage member for IMD. It's a complete wipe here as quadruple A clean up this team fight. They don't even need to take the dragon. They see the gold in their eyes. They're going to end this game right here. Irina, we only casted 1 game.
But it was a decisive one. Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to cast another, but it's such a decisive fight there. It was a good fight to end on.
Yeah, they end it in style.
Yeah,
I mean,
Int found the one hook that they wanted, which was on Ash, but they just didn't have the follow up that they needed to try and pick her off quickly. And we had Rare Adam in the back being able to charm the carries, and therefore they weren't able to quite finish their max output that they wanted to. And then there was enough chaos in the team fight from Silas where batteries decided to electrocharge and electrocute the tree.
Yeah, usually electrocuting wood does not work out for you, but in this game, they do pull it off. The battery beats the tree in this game. They're going to be moving up to the finals. Before we talk about that matchup, I know that we've only casted one game, but we were watching in the green room here. Who do you think it was the best player overall for
I can't answer that question for you because I've only watched one game, which is this one.
Okay,
But
okay,
from just the performance of this game, I would say it would be Jaffe. I think Jaffe really understood the role that was given to him, which was to be able to have enough gold damage, just presence to be able to cause chaos, and he caused mass chaos. He was able to trade 1-for-1 in a 1v3. He was able to dive into these team fights and be able to just like cause confusion. And with the crazy team comp that battery team pulled out, they definitely needed that on their side.
All right, you heard it here. Jaffe with the chaos, helping out his team win this game. All have secured themselves this final spot against, in my opinion, the #1 contender for the Cup, Art of War Esports. Are you excited for that matchup coming in?
Yes, I am. A was founded by the team member who brought me into Mythic, and AWE has some of my very close friends, so it'd be interesting to see who wins. I don't know who I want to root for.
Do you think Uriri will be lifting the cup?
I hope Uriri lifts the cup. He has gone through so many team iterations that he deserves a cup, and then he can maybe retire.
Yeah, gets the cup and then instantly retires. Well, that would definitely be a worthwhile retirement for Uriri, but I think he's the one who's going to go for as many cups as possible. I think it's in him. As we are closing out this stream here, that's going to be the game, but not the stream necessarily. We have an interview coming right up. It's going to be Katarina and Red. That's going to definitely be a doozy of an interview. And thanks, guys, for watching. I was Crims, and I just play-by-played one game. And Irina, third time on the desk here.
Please.
Hello everyone, welcome back. We are joined here with the victors of this fantastic match series. We've got joined with us the mid laner Katarina and the jungler UB Red stepping up in a huge way to take their victory over the first seed in the trees, INT. Apparently just slaughtering anyone that they stood between them and the championship run. How are you two feeling after your victory? Let's start with you, Katarina.
I'm doing pretty good. I feel like everything can go pretty well for us. We're doing good.
Fair enough. And Red, how are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling pretty good. I've never lost a series to INT. Kept that trend going. I've also never lost a series against a Riri's team, so finals should be easy.
It should be easy indeed. And when I recall one of my favorite hype videos, I'm trying to remember which season it was. Season 3, where it was the semifinals video between BBZ and INT. Was it that season?
Yeah. That was winter finals.
Yeah, it was my favorite. When you had to flame him when you're like, is he even playing this time? Oh, one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, so honestly, just a fantastic series. Some really interesting picks coming out from Katarina. I like how you teased us all that you might play it. Didn't quite lock that in. So the hover a few times. Had the Varus was an interesting pick. I definitely want to get your thoughts on why you picked that one up in the end and why you decided not to give us what we wanted to see this time.
Well, Varus is just he's just so good at anything tanky. He just does such an insane amount of frontline damage, and honestly, as much as I would love to play Cat, it's just so hard to find a good Cat game. It really is.
Fair enough. Definitely a lot of things that could stop and interrupt you, so that's probably what it was, having to do the right thing instead of the fun thing, which we could have seen in this game, but if nothing else, we didn't want to bust out the Silver Scrapes this time. And on the flip side, the not so diverse picking coming out of this series. Red, how does it feel to be a half Udyr at the end of this?
I love playing Udyr. I've been begging Utility Monster to let me play at top lane this entire season, and he has not allowed me to do it, so I'm just really happy. Like, I don't even care if I'm stuck on a Udyr duty. It's a good time for me.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, being able to get away from the draft tyrant himself that he's earned the title for, so that's gonna feel pretty good. Definitely, especially in the first few drafts, the first one and the second game, they seemed to go fairly quickly. It seems like you all had some prep for what you wanted to accomplish as far as the drafts went between the first 2 games and maybe an afterthought afterwards. Did it play out exactly what you were expecting? And did you kind of get the things that you wanted and saw the picks that you expected coming out from INT as well on the other side?
Yeah, game 1 was 100%. We basically had every single pick already pre-planned from both teams, and it was basically exactly what we thought it was going to be. So we were really happy that they let us get off that game.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely really surprising. I think with the commanding win that you had in the first game, it seemed like INT got at least 4 out of the 5 of their staple / comfort picks in that, and it definitely seemed like the early game was where they struggled the most in those first 2 games. And was that something you guys had prepared as far as like, just kind of like survive lane and just kind of like smash through that way, or what was kind of the thought process from your side there, Katarina?
I don't think I ever really planned on smashing lane. I'm not really the best lane player, so I kind of try to look to like farm and look for like roams or like just mid game scraps in general. Not really the best laner, but I love roaming. Shocker, I'm a cat player. It's what I do best.
Fair enough. Finding those advantages on the side are definitely some not so easy, especially with the wave balance and things how that played out. Definitely in the top lane, we had Jaffe coming through on some of those games and causing some chaos, especially in the last game with the Silas pick coming through. So I was just kind of curious, Red, in these games, what was your thought process for how you thought the key components of taking down INT was, and how you were able to make that happen from the jungle position on the Rift this time?
My take on INT, and I don't know if other people in FOF have the same thing, but I feel like they live or die by Kenny, and so we really made it a point to try to get him behind, and that's partially why game 3 didn't really work out so well. We kind of just gave him a free lane, and then I entered bot lane. So it was definitely focus Kenny was our game plan.
Nice, and I think that played out fairly well. But overall, being able to take 3 wins over INT after how many? I think you guys took 1 game off in regular season.
It's 4 games.
Yeah. Through this.
Regular season was 1-1.
Yeah. So 4 wins total for the entire season over #1 seed. So congratulations once again. And now you'll find yourself looking across from the Rift next week, facing Team Art of War. So even though everyone memed about how hard it is for casters to say versus we have found ourselves in the most high stakes match possible for that. So was this something you all were expecting, especially being up against Art of War for the finals? And kind of where's your head at, and how's it feeling?
I kind of memed about it earlier, but like, I somehow managed to be on the regular season on this team when I was playing mid lane, and I'm a dog shit mid laner, so like, I'm feeling pretty good about our chances.
There you go. And from your side, Katarina, what are your thoughts on that facing Art of
War? I think they're going to be good games. I think they're going to be a lot of fun.
I definitely agree. I'm mostly memeing.
Yeah. It's going to be a blast. I'm excited to play against them.
I am too. As I recall, I think the record also is currently 1-1. So the battle for the superior team is still on the table, something we're looking forward to. And I just got to ask, when you look at Art of War, who is the player, or maybe players, if you can't think of just one, that you think you have to watch out for the most and prepare for next week?
I don't really think anyone stands out to me other than Guilty. I think I've played against all of their players in a competitive setting, whether it's Captain's Draft or in FOF, and I think that they're all really good in their role. But I think that Jaffe is without a doubt the best top laner. I think that Rare Adam is on par with a Riri, if not better. And Ahmed is subbing into the AD carry role, so I think MXL has the edge there. And then I think mid and jungle are probably pretty even. So I think we, have about 3 even-ish roles and maybe 2 roles that are just stronger. So I like our chances, and I'm excited to play AWE.
Perfect. And coming from your side, Carrie, what are your thoughts on the same question?
I might be a little greedy, but I'm just worried about mid. I don't want to look too bad mid lane. As long as I don't end, I'll be happy. As long as I don't get lane gapped.
For sure. And as long as I get to see one Katarina game, I'll be happy personally. So we'll see if
I
it's
got
in
you,
the
I got
cards.
you.
Oh, okay, perfect. That's what
Yeah,
I
I got you, I
All
got
right,
you.
everyone clip it if he doesn't. Make sure that we penalize him
Yeah.
in season 7. So perfect. Right up. Before we step away for the rest of the night, I just want to give you guys one opportunity to say anything you want to either Art of War or any of your fans or whoever you want to say because you have the microphone on the stream. So starting with Katarina, you go first.
I'm just excited for I'm just trying to make XC proud. He's doing great. I love the man. He's super nice. I'm happy to be on a team with him. Yeah.
Perfect. And on your side, Red, what would you have to
Yeah.
say?
Yeah, I just want to thank staff and all the players in FOF who make all this possible. And on a more joking note, in season 3, I sent Yubi to the losers bracket to take out a Riri's team. In season 4, we beat a Riri's sister team. Season 5, Yubi won. So season 6 is going to be the 4th time.
And there you have it. Red throwing down the gauntlet, being the thing that stops Riri from the cup every time. Or will he? All of our fans, you'll have to go ahead and tune in next week when we battle that out in the Heroic League Grand Finals. Team A versus Team A. AAA versus Art of War. You won't want to miss that. It's going to be an absolute banger, and we'll see you there.
I love you, Riri.